It's 2 cooks and a sous chef and Wanda. We'll have to get new aprons. No, for those of you who don't know, we have a guest. This is Wanda Wyatt. She joined us on joining us on a couple of shows, we're really happy to have her. I think maybe some of you may know that she is the grandmother of our producer, Martina Wyatt Miller. Is that right? I got to get that married name in there. At any rate, but in keeping with our new format, we're letting Marilyn talk today because apparently the public feels that she doesn't get enough chance to talk. So Lois and I are happy to let her talk some more, and we're not going to talk very much today. And we're also going to help her prepare some of the things that she grew up with, and she'll get to tell you about those now.
Today we're going to be doing, it's kind of a heritage show again, like the other one that we did. We're going to be doing a Bohemian pastry called Kalasstchis, which I used to watch my grandmother make, and when everybody came home, she would make over 200 at a time, and we were all so excited because we got to eat as many of them as we wanted. And they're kind of a breakfast pastry with fruit fillings. The ones we use that doesn't really sound appetizing to a lot of people but is absolutely delicious is prunes, but you can use peaches or apples or apricots or any kind of fruit filling you want. And we're also making a chocolate cake that my grandmother made, and I still have the pan that I'm going to use today that she used to use, which is so much fun. And it's a chocolate cake with a cup of boiling water at the end. This recipe has been given to everybody in the country, and it's in an old Bavaria cookbook, and Donna Ayers tells me that her sister Pat even served it once when the president came to eat at her house. So we think it's quite fun, a quite fun recipe, and I think you'll enjoy it. And Wanda, what are you going to cook?
I'm going to make my famous cinnamon rolls. It's nothing famous about it, but that's what I'm noted for, is my cinnamon rolls. I've been making them for years. And when people think about me, they think of cinnamon rolls. They always ask me to bring cinnamon rolls. But I don't make them much anymore because they make so many. And so anyhow, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try to make you all some cinnamon rolls.
And while Wanda makes these cinnamon rolls, she's going to tell us some stories about them because they have been to every place.
Yeah, well, we got to save some stories while we're cooking. We can't tell them all now, or they won't watch us cook. All right, so we'll get on with it, right?
Right. We're ready.
Okay.
Okay, Jen, I need a big bowl to put the flour and the bread in, and a measuring cup.
Measuring cup? Okay. Is that enough?
What do you put your yeast and water and sugar in?
Well, usually I just put it in this. Is that all right?
That'll work. I need 2 cups of milk.
Well, that's right.
And 2 egg yolks. And melted butter, a stick and a half of melted butter.
Okay.
Oh,
There's
I don't
a
need that for a while.
You don't need the
No.
milk? Okay. So I just thought there was something else you told me you wanted besides this. So you
Okay.
want...
Right now we are working on the Kalasstchis, Bohemian Kalasstchis. Like I said before, they're like a breakfast dish, roll, and we're getting the yeast. Lois, I need a half a cup of warm water to go in this.
I'll get that, Lois.
If you'll do this, Jen, you can go ahead and do that. A half a cup of warm water in that, and a tablespoon of sugar, and just put it over to the side to
a
red.
tablespoon of sugar in that, and I'll get some warm water.
See, they have to talk. They can't stand it. I guess it's okay if they talk once in a while.
She's letting us talk, Lois. This is great.
These Kalasstchis,
Lois is pouting.
as I said in the introduction, my grandmother would make 200 at a time. And when everybody would come home in the summer, and we would eat them for 2 or 3 days if they lasted that long, but they were quite tasty. If we were lucky, Grandma would make them for us. My grandmother lived with us for about 4 or 5 years, and it was always so much fun because she was such a good pastry chef. She made homemade donuts and all kinds of pies, and she was really a wonderful baker, whereas my mom was more of a dinner cook than a pastry cook.
Now, did you say a half a cup, Marilyn?
It said a half a cup of warm water.
Okay.
So our yeast is getting to work, and while we're doing that, we're going to have 2 cups of milk in a saucepan.
2 cups of milk in a saucepan.
It's a very forgiving dough that we're making. It's just a sweet dough. And if you decide you don't want to fill it with fruit fillings as you make the kolache, you can just roll up the dough and make dinner rolls. 2 cups of milk.
She's over there. I'll put the saucepan over there.
And I need 1/2 cup shortening. I think my mom would be amazed to see shortening in these little packages.
That's cheating.
And I always use Crisco, and I love the fact that it has the little tablespoons on the side so that you can just cut off what you need. So I need 1/2 cup and 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to heat this on the stove. You can use butter in this recipe. I like the shortening the best, and of course my grandmother used lard. And we're going to let that just melt on the stove for just a minute. And I need something here to wipe my hands. I'll put that over this side. We'll be using a little bit of that later. Now, 2 eggs.
Do you need another bowl?
Yeah, I need another little bowl. No, I'm going to use this because I cheat.
She just wanted to see if I'd go get it.
Actually, I'm going to use this measuring cup. Well, I can crack an egg, maybe.
You just need the yolk.
I just need the yolks. And I might add that these are fresh eggs. As you know, Jean has chickens, and so we use the eggs from her chickens all the time, and it just makes such a great...
We have new chickens. These are...
Yeah, we even have new chickens out here that lay green eggs.
We do. But look at this yolk. Right? You probably can't see it. This is a beautiful yolk.
They're nice and yellow and great. So there's our 2 yolks, and that's no yolk. And and we need 1/2 cup of sugar.
Half a cup of sugar.
Son said on Pax Day, the transmission went out of his car, and not only that, he opened an egg that had no yolk, and it had no yolk. So I thought I'd just 1/2 cup. That's not 1/2 cup.
She wants it fuller.
I want it full.
Oh.
Okay.
Pretty soon she's going to start shoving us like this. She says only Italians shove like that. She saw it on national TV. What was that,
I did. I don't know. One of the chefs was shoving somebody, and so I decided it was okay for them to do that. I also saw...
She gave us a lot of grief about
most of
shoving
the
her
cooks
in
tasting their food with their fingers, which I was really surprised to see on national TV. Okay, I've got a KitchenAid mixer here. I'm sure Grandma would have loved to have had this. And I'm adding 1/2 cup of sugar. Now, I haven't really made these to where they're perfected. You know, I'm not as fearless as they are, and a lot of times some of the things that they make, they have never made until we film. I have to practice a bunch of times before we actually do this. And actually, I should have another hook on here to mix this, so I may take this out and mix it with a spoon a little bit.
You want that other hook?
Well, I could use the other hook. You got it?
I'm getting good at this sous chef stuff. I can.
How about that?
I don't know what she wants.
No, I want this one.
Yeah, this.
If I can get it on there.
What happened?
There we go. Got a little ahead of ourselves. Had the bread hook on.
Yeah.
So it's all mixing it together. Okay. We're waiting for the shortening and milk to cool. to get to lukewarm temperature so we can add it to our egg mixture. And I'm just getting the bowl ready. You want to spray your bowl that you put your dough in eventually to let it rise. And so we just have a little aluminum bowl that's sprayed. We're getting ready to, while we're waiting for the milk and shortening to cool, we're fixing the fruit filling. And today we're doing a prune filling. But like, you know, you get in a hurry at the grocery store, and I inadvertently picked up a couple of bags of prunes with pits instead. I highly recommend that you make sure that you get ones that are pitted. So,
but unlike you at home all by yourself, Marilyn has sous chefs, and
right.
they're gonna pit them, so she's not hurting.
Right.
Now, how are we gonna?
You can do it either way. We need a pan, just a saucepan with water.
Saucepan with water.
Some people like to put lemon zest in their prunes, and my recipe does call for lemon zest. I personally like them better without. Just add a little sugar, half a cup of sugar, and your fruit filling, whatever it is, whether it is the prunes or the apricots or the peaches or the apples. And I have tried just using jelly fillings if you run out of fruit and you want to just add some, if you have blackberry jelly or whatever. So we're going to do about a sack and a half of prunes. So that's about 32 ounces of prunes. We're going to add water to them and a half a cup of sugar. And you can just guess at the sugar, like most people do. Just some sugar. Okay. Add the water, please.
How much?
To cover them. Add water to cover them. And we're going to let these cook down for a while, probably 30 minutes on low. And then we're going to pit them and mash them to make the prune filling. I'm going to change the blade. I have mixed the egg yolks and sugar together, and I'm changing out the blade here, or the as I call it, the blade, the hook, the dough hook. And now I'm going to add my milk mixture that has cooled to the egg yolk. And I could have left that other beater on until I got this done. So we're going to beat that up for a while. You can turn it up once it stirs. You're going to have to let this beat up for just a little while. And I'm going to check it to see how it's doing. See if it's all in there together. Which it isn't, so I'm going to use my new whisk that I got from JP's. Imagine that. This is a double whisk. It has a little triple whisk. It has 3 different whisks in it, and it's supposed to add more air to your mixture.
Oh, I see.
It really does work pretty good.
Yeah. These are brand new.
Yeah, we just got these in.
New toys.
You need a kitchen gadget, we have it at the store. So, now we're going to, let me read the recipe to make sure. We've added the milk and egg mixture and the yeast. The flour is next. After the yeast, we're going to add our yeast mixture.
Boy, you got a yeast.
Yeah, we really got a good do on this yeast. Look at that, it's just standing up so nicely. The yeast out here at Jean Fouquet's really works good. Thank you, Lois.
Boy, I did fold like that.
Yeah. This kitchen is nice and warm, and so anytime you make bread or some kind of pastry out here that needs to rise, it usually does it quite easily. I'm going to stir that in. Oh my goodness.
What?
Someone has taken my whisk.
Oh. You're welcome.
You really don't have to do this, but since I have the dough hook on and I don't have the bread in there yet, or the flour in there yet, I'm going to give it a little extra mix to make sure it's good to go. And I think it is. Now, I'm going to start adding the flour. My neighbor, Loretta Utes, who's going to come out and eat with us sometime, says don't worry about this dough. You can't hurt it. It's a very, like I said, it's a very forgiving dough. So we're going to add, she does not sift her flour, and most times they say no, you don't have to sift flour anymore because it is so mixed up. So I'm going to add about 3 cups. Wanda's over here watching me. What do you think, Wanda? Do you think that's going to work? Do you usually
I thought in my mind exactly what I was going to do. I got my flour already measured and just salt. And
she's already got her flour ready to go. I'm just mixing as I go.
Well, that way you can tell more stories.
You cannot be, literally, having a bread hook. Because it just, it's the best. You don't have to knead and knead and knead it.
So you mean that's what the rest of us poor people do that don't have a KitchenAid?
That's
We're
right.
kneading?
But you're kneading.
But let me tell you though, you should knead it just a little bit.
A little. You
Yeah,
have to knead it a little.
Come on, talk with us, Wanda. Yeah, no,
but
you can't be the silent expert off the screen. You got to get on the TV.
But it has a more smoother thing if you knead it yourself a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It makes a smoother dough when you knead it yourself. I always worry about if you're mixing it too much. My neighbor insists that you can just put all those ingredients in there and just walk off and do your work and come back. If it's mixed a long time, it's going to be fine. So I've added 3 cups of flour. We're ready to go. I've added the 3 cups of flour to here, and we've let it mix up for quite some time. Melissa, will you check? Are you just checking the prunes? You know, you can mash them down. You don't have to worry about letting them wrinkle, you know. And just kind of make sure that the water is covered over them and let them simmer back there. So I'm going to add more flour.
You want that thing, Melissa? I know what she wants to do.
Added 2 more cups of flour. And again, we're just mixing here.
Is this going to be just a bread dough, like a bread
Yes, it's like a soft bread dough, Wanda. It sure is. It's just that like I say, if you run out of fruit filling and you want to make dinner rolls with it, you can. They're not as light and fluffy as if you use some recipes, but they're good. They're good. Okay, Gina, I'm going to need some more flour.
All right, coming up.
Now I'm not going to add, you know, as you get to the end of your making your soft dough, everybody will tell you you should add a little bit of flour at a time, and then finally you get down to the point where you're adding a tablespoon at a time. I think that's a little bit minute, but we're getting a nice soft dough now. Taken a long time to make this dough. I'm not exactly an expert at these Kalasstchis. I hope to be by the next couple of years.
See, I don't understand this. So now it's all around your hook and it doesn't move. So I mean...
You just raise it up and it comes off.
Yeah. So you have to keep doing
But
that?
it's still too sticky.
Yeah.
It might even need more than that, but I'm just getting worried that you'll add too much flour. So although the recipe calls for 6 1/4 cups of flour, most of the time that I have made this recipe, I end up adding a little bit more than 6 1/4 cups. This recipe I did find online. I wanted to have a few more instructions than my grandmother had left. and I found the exact same recipe from a Bohemian lady online, except for the lard. Grandma always used lard in hers.
That's all I had.
No Crisco.
No Crisco.
Matt has lard. I use it for pie crust. He has that in the pie.
You can get lard still, but, you know, it's kind of hard on you.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, right.
All them other people live to be 100.
Yeah, that's everything that was supposed to be bad for you, they ate. I think it's the lack of physical labor.
It's really sticky. Still need a little more flour, don't you think? We are getting close, this is true.
So when it's ready, it falls off the dough hook and doesn't cling to it? Is that how it is?
No, it's still a little bit sticky.
It has to be a little bit sticky,
But you can add flour to your hands like you do for your bread and whatever too.
Well, I mean, I just don't understand what good it does. It's going around. It doesn't look like to me it's working if it's just around the hook and
If
it's
you
going
don't
nowhere.
get in the dough in there.
It's kneading. It's supposed to be kneading your dough there.
Right.
So when it clings like that, it's still kneading?
Yeah. Just pushing it
I'm
down.
telling you what, these newfangled inventions.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Marilyn, you want a spatula?
No.
You put that out on a floured board?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you probably got it.
I think it's still too sticky. This is very sticky. We're going to try putting it out on the floured board and get the pan off. You can see it's sticking, and you can see it's sticking to my hands, but not greatly. That's too much flour. And it'll come out of the bowl. And unlike the resident experts here, I just need however I want.
And what is it that the resident experts do?
Well, the resident expert says that you have to knead a certain way because
You do.
you get the air out. But the last batch of Kalasstchis I made were so good, and I needed it like this. And that would just make people go nuts.
I only want to point out
And I can't understand why not, because when you do this, you're still getting the air out.
Well, no, but you're moving the air.
But
Yeah, a little
you
bit.
need it.
You all can't see Wanda because she's just sitting
Oh,
comfortable
she
over
would
there.
just love
But
to get up
I'm
and just
telling you
make
what,
it.
she's agreeing
I'm
with
gonna
all the
let-
resident experts here.
I'm going to let Jean show you how to knead it just a little
No.
bit. Yeah, I'm serious. I want
Oh,
you
I
to
don't
knead
know
a
that.
little bit.
Why don't you let Wanda show you how to knead it? We've seen me knead. We've been on. There's been a whole program of me kneading.
She's going to do this on her
Come
cinnamon
on, Wanda.
rolls.
Come on. I know, but go
Yeah.
ahead. I don't need to get.
Wanda, you can be bohemian for the day.
Huh? She might
Let me
have
wash
to.
my hands because I've been.
It doesn't really make any
You need
difference.
to check the current.
Like I say, this is just a very forgiving dough, so
Well, Wanda,
We hope it
you
is.
check the
it
current.
is.
Okay, Marilyn. Let me
Okay,
show you.
you can show me how I need all the help I can get. I'll be glad for you to show me.
You're supposed to do it
Yeah.
one way constantly. Just keep it doing it
And why do you do it one way constantly, Wanda?
because it makes a softer bread. I hate to tell you, but I think you got too much flour in
Well,
it.
I might have. Like I say, I'm just now starting.
See, but that should be smooth.
You can get it smooth though.
But just do it like this.
Okay. I'm gonna try. Do it just like that.
I think the reason why she doesn't do it the same way all the time is she gets bored.
It's just because I haven't made bread as much as most people.
I'll let you wash this.
Okay.
There's a piece of her dough.
There, give it to her.
Here, there's a piece that might be one whole thing that you need.
Okay.
That I need. And that's
You're just-
not with a K.
You're just all full of puns today.
I am full of puns. One-liners. Can you see your hands going over here? How am I doing? Not very good? This is the thing about it, though. You don't want to be afraid to
I hope
try.
it's forgiving.
You don't want to be afraid to try, though. And you
I
don't
hope
want
it's
to, you want to just try
But
to
no.
learn. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Because I'm obviously making a lot of them on this stuff.
Well,
you're
you know,
just
to
fine.
be quite fair, Marilyn has made these several times. I've eaten them. They've tasted wonderful. So I guess whatever magic she works, it's good for her. But I noticed the last time that we were making bread in the kitchen, Marilyn was trying to help me knead, and it made me antsy because I wanted to knead my own bread. And see, Wanda does a lot of baking, and she wants to knead her own bread. And the thing is everybody's bread is their bread.
Huh?
You want to help me?
No, you're fine.
Everybody's bread is their bread. That's the real story. You got to just do it your way.
You have to do it your way, and that's.
And you have to learn. You have to keep practicing until you get really good at it. Now, in a couple of years, when I do bread, I'll probably meet your approval.
I want to wash this. This is mine. I'm going to finish mine. But no, you're getting better.
Thank you, Wanda.
Now,
Is
if
the water supposed to cook off again?
I was doing
No, I
it,
couldn't.
I breathe my hand.
You'll lose all that energy.
You ever done that?
It must cook down.
No.
No, we'll drain it in.
We are about done kneading this dough, and although it may have a tiny bit too much flour in it, which is normal to happen sometimes, we are getting a little sheen on it. And I'm going to make it into a nice round ball. It has a good taste. We've tasted it, Wanda and I, and
Yeah,
I
it's
got
good.
Wanda's approval that it has a sweet taste.
It is. It's sweet.
And so we're going to put it in a greased bowl.
And here, put shortening on it.
And I'm going to put some shortening on the top. Sometimes I use butter, melted butter, for these rolls, but either one will work.
Oh,
And that keeps it soft. Makes it raise better for some reason. And my helper here is giving me some wax paper. We're going to put it over to the side to raise.
there you go.
And I'm going to turn it over to Wanda, and she's going to make her famous cinnamon rolls.
Okay.
Right? And then you're going to put your yeast. And you're using quick rising yeast so it'll go a little faster.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But that isn't necessary. You're just doing that because of the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any difference, does it?
Okay, now we're going to let that rise. Okay. Now I feel like Martha Stewart here.
And you look like Martha, too.
Well, I don't think I have Martha's money.
Oh, well. A couple shows of CVTV and the networks will be picking you up. Not a
Yeah.
problem.
But we got to get my yeast to working.
You want me to get a fork and stir that?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
It should. See how my yeast has to work there. And the sugar makes it ferment a little bit. Now, I have measured out my dry ingredients because...
And what's in there?
Well, there's salt and there's flour, and I changed the recipe from the one I normally make because I would have had to brought a lot more ingredient. I'm going the lazy way. I got a cake mix in it.
So how are they going to know the real Wanda? You're not telling your real Wanda secret.
Well,
That's
yes,
what?
it's in the book.
It's in the
She
book.
can
Show
have-
me the book. Here, let me have that book. You all
Yeah.
got to see this book. We saw this the other day when we were visiting with her about what to do on the show. Now this book is made some bread, hasn't it? Look at it.
Look, it's horrible.
I'm telling you what.
It's horrible, but I'll tell
And
you
down
what.
here you got some marks.
Well,
That must be code, secret code.
I don't know, but I brought it because of that. But the basic recipe calls for, of course, the water, the yeast, and the flour, and it has dried powdered milk in it. It had salt and it had eggs. So instead of doing all that, I decided I'd go a simpler route.
Well,
So-
tell us about it, because they may want to do simple too. So what'd you do?
Well, this is flour and a cake mix.
Like a white cake mix?
Or yellow, you can use either one.
Huh. And how do you know how much of what? Where you just made this up, or is it written down somewhere?
Well, you kind of use both recipes.
Oh.
Now see, my yeast is right, and I'm pouring it in here. Get every drop out. Okay.
You want me to?
Now, I'm going to start adding my flour.
What do you do here?
Yeah, there we go. Now at home, I know just, how to, I have a KitchenAid at home. This should be about the right amount of flour, but I don't want to overdo it. Okay, now I'll put it back on.
So tell us about, I know just because I've known you for a long time, and I know how many places you make these for. We know that beaten that goes on forever, so you tell them about what you make these for and what people ask you. And
Well, every time there's a benefit, they ask me for them. They asked me recently for Butch Coleman's, but I told them I couldn't make that many, for something like that. But anyhow, I have made them. They've been taken to Atlanta. I've taken Bevere, and one time I had them at Bevere, and my neighbors, the man was bidding against his wife. They both wanted to, and they bidding against each other.
they weren't going to share? Or did they not
But
know?
they didn't know each
They
other.
didn't know. Oh. Well, see, I know because for years she would bring them to the ball games. Every time Bevere had a home ball game, the high school,
My grandson's
because
playing.
her grandsons played. In fact, I'm sure that she bought several uniforms with these rolls.
Oh, yeah. But I used to make them for the ball team, and then I still have people ask me, do you still make cinnamon rolls? I said, well, not too often.
Now,
Keep it going.
okay. See, I think these cinnamon rolls are probably good luck because both of her grandsons that she referred to that played ball, both of them played in state championship games.
Yeah, they did.
Both of them on two different teams. So, maybe we better talk to Julius. He's needing a little help in districts because Bevere's only had 5 games that are going into districts. So maybe we need some cinnamon rolls. That'll do the trick.
Okay, up it a little bit.
Okay. Too much?
Yeah.
I know nothing about this.
So that's a kneading my dough. And
Boy, it's taking off now. Giddy up. I got it.
yeah.
Well, no, so I really do want to talk about. So there are recipes for our dough where you use a cake mix.
I
never
got
saw
it out of the one I thought, well, instead of this one, it's just bad. I can't hardly read the thing.
You know, a bit more flour in there. Here,
Yeah.
here's this over here.
No, yeah, I brought my Robin Hood. This one
Oh, you don't like? Where's your Robin Hood at?
I brought right here.
Oh, okay.
Now I don't know if Robin Hood is better than, but now this is an old time.
Flour.
Yeah,
I never heard of it. Where you get it at?
grocery store. Oh, let's turn it off and let me see what it looks like.
Wait a minute, I gotta release it.
Okay. It's just about right. Just about right. Now I'll tell you, I need a bowl, big bowl that's greased. Now, I'm going to turn this out. take long like Maryland's did.
No, you did all the work for it. There was hardly anything for a sous chef to do now.
One thing about my cooking
Yeah?
is it wouldn't go down the record as the same every time. Now, sometimes, like for the filling, the bottom part, I'll add vanilla.
Sometimes for what?
The brown sugar and the butter and the pecans, I'll add vanilla.
Oh.
Just to give them a different taste. You can do about anything. Okay, now here's my dough. Now see, I just do it one way. Now Marilyn, where you at?
I'm here.
Come here and feel my smooth
Okay.
dough. See, feel my...
Yeah, oh, it's smooth, yeah.
That's...
I think you're right. I think I had too much flour in mine, Wanda.
Yeah, I think you did. But you do it the same way, and you begin to feel it get smooth. Of course, I've made it so much that I kind
You
of,
can tell by touch.
yeah,
Do you want the rest of that or not?
if I can get it all. That'll make half of the cinnamon roll. There.
This is the fun thing about having one. And where else can you get? This is like on-the-job training. To watch someone else knead the dough, because this dough is different than what Jean does for the bread. And so it's, you know, the more practice you get, the more times you try, the better it gets.
But now, if a recipe would call that you could just use that, but you have a more of a smoother, if you knead it a little bit yourself. See?
That's what we were saying about the KitchenAid does knead the dough a lot with the bread hook. And here is her
Here's my...
dough. If you want to see, you can see it's nice and putting a little bit of Crisco on the top of it. Well, quite a bit of Crisco.
Well,
She's
I
already
had
at the
to...
Crisco part? Oh my.
Oh, I don't take me long.
No. You
Okay,
want me to put a
now,
little wax
You're just
paper
a
on that
fast
too?
cat, Wanda.
Well, it don't take long to make them. 'Cause, you know,
Apparently not.
well, Marilyn, I get wore out with her recipe the time she got. Okay.
Now I need some more,
Now this is going to rise. I need a tea towel.
yeah, getting it.